I quit.
What the fuck?
It was the rat.
Yeah, no, that's dead. Hell yeah, brother.
Traumatizing.
We're a murder podcast!
Hi there, I'm Audie.
I'm Danny.
I'm Elise.
And welcome to Breakfast with Bimbos! We're gonna talk about a weird one today, guys.
Ooh, I'm excited.
This wasn't a request. Sorry, not sorry. Next week is, I promise, so stay tuned for that. But I wanted to talk about this one, okay? Sometimes I'm selfish.
Me
You
too.
have to be in this industry.
Have y'all ever heard of the Tylenol murders?
No.
Okay, bitch!
I think maybe.
I take so much Tylenol. Am I okay?
Is this the one where the guy put chemicals in Tylenol and it went to like so many different stores and
Yes.
started killing people?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Alright, so yeah, for those of you that don't know, which I think is Danny.
Yeah.
The Tylenol murders are a string of murders. All these different people from different stores bought packs of extra strength Tylenol, and they all took the pills. They were cyanide pills, and all of them died.
Oh my fucking god.
Dang.
And to this day, they have never figured out who did this.
Dang.
Damn.
This also reminds me of this one. It was this guy. He lived next to this couple, and he hated the neighbors so much that he killed their dog,
Oh.
like via poisoning,
Oh.
and then proceeded to like poison them.
What the fuck?
And then like everyone went to the hospital. Mom, dad, 2 kids. I think the mom died. I think the dad survived. But yeah, it was crazy.
Damn.
Holy shit.
And they had they had like an FBI spy go undercover to like
What the fuck?
to like get close with him. So she found out the secret, so she leaked it to the police.
Oh, damn.
So yeah, it's a whole thing. It's
Holy
crazy.
shit.
So September 29th, 1982. 7 people across the Chicago, Illinois area ingested poisoned Tylenol pills, causing all 7 of their deaths. And yes, for those of you that are watching our slideshow, here is your who the fuck is that page. We don't have a regular who the fuck is that page because really, I'm going to be honest, guys, this slideshow is a lot of pictures because it's a lot of speculation and not a lot of fact. But this is just a page of all 7 of the victims. 12-year-old Mary Kellerman, 27-year-old Mary Ringner, 31-year-old Mary McFarland, 35-year-old Paula Prince, 27-year-old Adam Janus, 25-year-old Stanley Janus, and 19-year-old Teresa Janus.
Oh.
So all the Januses are related, and they all died on the same day.
That's so sad.
Yeah, it's actually crazy. Basically, Adam, who was the oldest, collapsed after ingesting extra strength Tylenol and was rushed to the hospital where he died in like an hour or 2. So everyone went back home, and then Stanley, who was his brother, and Stanley's wife, Teresa, both took extra strength Tylenol and died hours later.
Dang.
The fact that they all took Tylenol that one day. What was going on in that household?
I mean, in my head, I'm like, okay, Adam might have had a headache, and then the other ones, you're gonna be crying. Someone just randomly died.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
You always get a crying headache.
Yeah.
I know I do.
I'm just dehydrated all the time.
Yeah, same.
Ooh.
It's a problem. So on the night of the 29th, Cook County investigator Nick Pichos compared the Tylenol bottle from the first victim and the bottle from Mary Kellerman's. Once he had both bottles, he noticed that they shared a similarity, which was the control number, MC2880. A deputy medical examiner told Nick to smell the bottle, and they both said that the bottle smelled faintly of almonds.
Oh, because of course it did.
Cyanide smells like bitter almonds, if you didn't know.
I was just imagining everyone had a nut allergy.
Oh.
No, this was cyanide. So exposure to cyanide by any method can lead to seizures, cardiac arrest, and respiratory failure in less than 30 minutes. Blood test results show that all 7 victims had taken a dose that was 100 or even 1,000 times the lethal limit.
Holy
Oh my
shit.
God.
So they died very fast and had no idea.
Oh, that's so
That's
sad.
so upsetting.
So the medical examiner says that he spoke with the attorney of Johnson & Johnson. And yes, you're probably thinking Johnson & Johnson, that's a fucking baby shampoo company. They also own Tylenol.
Weren't they also one of the companies that produced the COVID shots?
Yes,
Probably.
they were.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, well, full circle. So by the evening of October 1st of 1982, so this is only 24 hours after all 7 deaths, The police confirmed that they believed that the Tylenol had intentionally been poisoned with potassium cyanide. So late at night, they start announcing to everyone that all the Tylenol should be pulled off the shelves. The Tylenol manufacturers recalled over 31 million bottles and issued warnings. And when I say they issued warnings, police started just driving around neighborhoods with a bullhorn being like, if you have Tylenol, throw it out. It's been causing death. Could you fucking imagine that?
Yeah, that's terrifying.
I would be shitting myself.
Everyone was, because nobody knew if it was just Tylenol, if it was all medication. Like, no one had any idea what was going on. And this was clearly cyanide and not just, oh, something happened at the factory and like a couple bottles got fucked up. Like, someone planted these.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Johnson & Johnson offered to replace every recalled bottle with a new bottle and offered a $100,000 reward for anyone with any information. Because of these precautions, it is estimated to have cost the company over $100 million in Tylenol.
Yeah.
Shit.
That's crazy.
So by Tuesday, October 5th of 1982, the U.S. General Attorney as well as the FBI were all on the case. So Tyrone Forner, who was a Illinois State Attorney General, claims that he believed in the initial stages there was around maybe 1,200 different leads from people.
Damn.
Dang.
It's estimated that the newspaper ran over 100,000 separate articles about this incident. So obviously, nationwide panic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if people would start feeling even slightly funny, even if they hadn't taken anything, they're booking it to the hospital. So now the hospitals are overthrown with all these quote-unquote poison victims, where 90% of them are fine.
What's it called? It's like hysteria, but it's not.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, like where they believe they have something so much that it affects them.
Yeah. What is that called?
I don't know.
I feel like it starts with a P.
Yeah, same. Isn't that placebo?
Placebo effect.
Okay, I was like, am I right?
Oh.
Yes.
So this also caused copycats to start poisoning bottles.
Of course it did.
So about 270 cases were found in only the first month after the Tylenol murders.
Oh my god.
So they would poison pills with things like rat poison and hydrochloric acid. Could you imagine just like taking an acid pill and not knowing?
That's
That's
terrifying.
horrifying to think about.
Talk about literally being eaten from the inside out.
You will not catch me taking Tylenol
Right?
anymore.
Guys, y'all know, I love Tylenol. Like, not in a weird way, but like, I have so many bottles of Tylenol. Specifically the extra strength. When I read this, I was like, no.
I've got 3 in my car, 1 in my purse, and 1 in my nightstand, bro.
Same.
I took 1 to work, too.
Yeah.
The only medicine I take is my allergy medicine. If I'm in pain, I deal with it because I feel like it makes me stronger.
Thank you for being the strong bitch that Danny and I can't be.
I can't.
So what's crazy is that all of these victims bought Tylenol from different stores. So it's not like they all went to one fucking Kroger and they traced it back to there. No, all different stores.
That's even worse.
All these stores got their Tylenol from different production plants as well.
How did they do
What the
this?
heck?
Well,
Did they take bottles of Tylenol, like buy them, empty them out, put cyanide in them, bring them back to the stores and throw them on the shelves?
that's exactly what they did.
There must have been multiple people doing this then.
Well, here's the thing to also think about. You know how all medical bottles have the safety seal on it? This case is the reason why.
I was wondering that because I was reading the bottle on the first slide.
This case is the reason why we have those seals.
Yeah.
Before that, you could just open a bottle. There's the pills. So anyone could open a bottle, slip it in, put it back, bye.
Oh my god.
So over 10 million recalled pills were tested. And in total, over 50 capsules were found with cyanide in it.
Oh.
Shit.
This was across 8 different bottles, meaning there's not just one pill in that bottle of cyanide. It's the whole bottle. So 5 of the bottles belonged to the victims, and 2 of them were sent back in the recall. 1 was found still sitting on the shelf.
Imagine not hearing all of this go down and you buy that one bottle.
But can you imagine? No, I'm sorry. If you
kill
brought up that
myself.
bottle with all this going on, that cashier would be side-eyeing you so hard. They'd be like, honey, are you sure you want this? I don't think you do. So there's no fingerprints, no physical evidence, no evidence showing perpetrators in the store, no cameras, nothing.
Dang.
So Johnson & Johnson's non-prescription market plummeted from 35% of their sales to 8% of their sales after this.
I would not be part of that 8%. I will tell you that right now. I would not be part of that 8%.
No, that 8% said, I'll risk it. It's definitely someone in, like, Florida who's like, that was all the way in Chicago. We're fine down here.
Yeah.
Investigators pretty much have no lead, so they're looking at everything possible. So they start looking into every single pissed off employee, ex-worker, anyone that could have had access to these bottles. Where they were bottled, where they were stored, where they were sold, every single facility. They also looked at any shoplifters that were found. They also looked at people who had just been released from prison or psychiatric hospitals in the Chicago area. All of them were interrogated with no leads coming up.
Oh.
Police even publicized the victims' funerals in hoping that the killer would show up to one of them.
They do that a lot in
They do.
certain other cases.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Did they?
No.
Dang.
No one showed up.
That makes it sound sad now.
I know, right?
Yeah. No, I mean, people that loved them showed up, just not the killer
Okay.
that we know of.
Okay.
So they eventually reached the theory that Elise already figured out, thank you for Scooby-Dooing for us, which is someone would have probably had to come in and tamper with the bottles, either purchasing them and bringing them back or in store.
Mm-hmm.
Something to think about is that cyanide would eat through the little capsules that it was kept in after a certain amount of time.
Oh.
So they would have had to have put these capsules back on the shelf within a matter of days of it being sold. So it
Yeah.
narrows that timeline a lot.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think that they would have bought all of those bottles and then brought it back to the store because wouldn't you think that's really suspicious?
Unless you only bought one bottle at each store.
Yeah.
Can you even return medication?
They're not returning it. They're just bringing it back in their pocket, back on the shelf. Goodbye.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Shit, I would want my money back. I'm
It's
sorry.
like
You
that.
right.
You know that trend? It's a really gross trend that happened on TikTok where people would go into like convenience stores, open up a container of ice cream, lick it,
Yeah.
close it back up, and put it back on the shelf.
Ariana Grande did that with a donut.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
They deserve pies to the face.
Right.
Yeah.
Whipped
And then
cream.
there was this
Not
guy.
shaving cream. Don't give them anything nice.
There's,
Make that shit burn their eyes.
there was this guy who got arrested because he was spraying like Raid on vegetables.
Oh my fucking
What the
God.
fuck?
I'm so glad that I washed my vegetables.
Right? Same.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Ugh.
Whenever I see someone just raw dog a strawberry out the package, I'm like, what you doing?
That person is me.
Elise!
Girl.
You're gonna die of raid poisoning one day.
Hey, I'll be fine. I don't take medication. It makes me stronger. My immune system loves me.
Okay, but Raid doesn't make you stronger.
No.
Hey, no. My immune system can handle it.
Hey, no.
I have eaten so many things off the floor.
We know.
Yeah, you have.
It's fine.
You've taken just a fucking cherry tomato from a Walmart and popped it in your mouth.
It was open. It was open and poured out. So like,
I'm
of
not
course
gonna
I'm gonna
lie.
take some.
I was that bitch that used to steal grapes when I was a kid.
I could never imagine doing it as a kid. I had such a guilty conscience that you remember, I don't think stores even have these anymore, when you could like get your fresh coffee beans and they would have like
Yeah.
dispensers. There was like a coffee bean in the bottom of it that it spilled out and I took it into the parking lot and then I cried because I was like, I stole this bean!
Aw.
A single fucking coffee bean!
When I was a kid, I stole, there was a ripped package of balloons. I was like, whoa, balloons. So I took one. And then I got in the car and I started blowing it up. And they're like, why do you have a balloon? And I was like, it was on the floor. and then they made me go back in and return it.
A fucking balloon?
Yeah.
Oh,
Made me go back in the store and be like, I found this balloon on the ground. I'm not supposed to have it. Here you go.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
would've
I
been
did
like,
cry.
So fair. I would be like, kid, take the fucking balloon.
Please,
Yeah.
please just leave. This has nothing to do with stealing, but it kind of does. You know those, like, sticky hands? The ones that you can slap with?
Yeah.
So there was one of those at the West Side Walmart, but it was in the shape of a spider. I stole it, and a couple of my friends in high school, we threw it up in the ceiling, right above the card section. It's still there. It's been like 5 years. It's a little orange one. If we ever go over there all together, I will show you where the fuck this is, because it's been up there for
Hell
years.
yes. Hell yeah.
Years, bro.
East side or west side?
West Side.
Hell yeah.
No,
It's
Hell
on
yeah.
West Side. Right above the birthday cards.
If they ever move the cards, you're gonna be like, no, where'd it go?
No!
Alright, so this crime, shocker, has never been solved.
Of course.
So, we've just got a couple suspects to talk about. So, suspect number 1 is Roger Arnold, who was a dock worker. He said some suspicious stuff about the Tylenol murders when he was drunk at a bar one night, and that's kind of our first inkling that maybe this guy is a fucking weirdo. So, police questioned him, and they ended up searching his home, and they turned up a few interesting connections. So Arnold worked at Jewel Warehouse and worked with the father of the victim, Mary Rayner, who had died from the Tylenol. Adam Janus, who was one of the first victims and part of the family of 3, purchased from a Jewel convenience store. So according to the New York Times, the store in which Mary Rayner bought her pills from was across the street from Roger Arnold's wife's psychiatric ward.
Oh, shit.
So, basically, he's connected to 3 out of 7 of the stores where the Tylenol was purchased. They search his home, and they locate how-to crime manuals.
Sorry.
I just want to know who's writing how-to crime.
How to break into cars for dummies.
Crime for dummies.
They also found evidence of chemistry stuff in his house, like beakers, vials, things like that. And they found a little bag of white powder.
It's just Coke.
No, actually, they tested it, and it was potassium carbate.
Oh.
And not cyanide. So Roger refused to take any lie detector test, and the police never found enough in order to prosecute him. So in June of 1983, the following year, Arnold ended up shooting an innocent man named John...
It's John Mulaney.
No.
Oh.
John Stanashi. Arnold did this because he had the impression that John had turned him into the police, claiming he heard him speaking about the Tylenol murders while he was drunk.
Oh.
According to John, he never did this, and Roger was just drunk as hell and decided to have a bar fight.
As one should.
But John ended up dying, and Arnold was sentenced to 30 years in prison. He got out early on parole, though, and it is unknown where he is today.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. Suspect number 2, Theodore Krasinski, also known as the Unabomber. Do y'all know about the Unabomber?
Yeah.
Okay. For those of our viewers that don't know, the Unabomber is someone who sent bombs through the mail to a bunch of people and killed a bunch of people that way. So Krasinski is currently serving life in prison for killing 3 people and wounding 23 others with these bombs.
Dang.
Now, reasons why it could be Krasinski. 1, he's a Illinois native. His first bomb was found in Chicago, and there was 1 Tylenol death that has never officially been attached to the murders. It's just speculated that it was from cyanide.
Oh.
It was the cyanide poisoning of J. Adam Mitchell. He's from Sherrington, Wyoming, which is the town that's on the way to Krasinski's murder cabin, where he would make all of these bombs. So he stopped in this town all the time. And this is the only cyanide poisoning they found in America outside of Chicago.
Huh.
So one of Krasinski's surviving victims, named Percy Woods, also lived in Forest, Illinois, which was one of the towns that the cyanide pills were found in.
Oh, God.
Oh.
We're going down a weird spiral, okay?
Okay.
Just stay with me. Stay with me. So Krasinski's bombs were also partially made of wood. He often used return addresses and synonyms involving types of wood in the past.
Synonyms.
Shut the fuck up! I don't know how to say words, and we know that.
Synonym.
Thank you so much, Danny.
You're so welcome.
I'm just gonna take out what I said, and I'm just gonna put it in there.
Dude.
It's just your voice over mine.
Synonym.
He often used return addresses and...
Synonym.
So an example of this was Frederick Benjamin Isaac Wood, with an address of 549 Wood Street in Wood Lake, California. This was one of the people that Krasinski was obsessed with and would send a bomb to. So why are we talking about Wood? Because 2 out of 3 of the founders of Johnson & Johnson both have the middle name Wood.
What are the chances?
Oh my god.
So it could just go along with, like, his weird obsessions.
Mm-hmm.
Was he a carpenter?
It took me a second to figure out what the fuck you were talking about.
I don't know!
Because he was obsessed with wood.
I just think he was autistic. You know?
So right.
Or a woodpecker in a human body.
Oh!
Woodpecker.
Pecker! You said picker!
Woodpecker.
I know.
That was one of those 90s ghost toys. So in February of 2009, the FBI office in Chicago announced it would use advanced forensic technology and review all of the evidence relevant to the Tylenol killings. The FBI requested a DNA sample from Krasinski, and Krasinski then told them, quote, "The officer said the FBI was prepared to get a court order to compel me to provide the DNA sample, but wants to know whether I would provide the sample voluntarily." Because otherwise they have to, go through the court system and it takes for fucking ever.
Mm-hmm.
He said he would provide the sample on one condition. The courts would not allow the United States Marshal to conduct an auction of all of Krasinski's belongings, which they were currently doing. So they were about to sell all the shit from his cabin. So Theodore then said, quote, "Even on the assumption that the FBI is entirely honest, the assumption I'm unwilling to make partial DNA profiles can throw suspicion on persons who are entirely innocent." Which, I get, but also, fuck you, dude, you're the Unabomber.
Yeah.
I don't really care what you have to say.
Yeah.
Now, for such examples, profiles can show that 5 or 3 or 1% of Americans have the same partial profile as people who have already committed crimes and are in the system. So he's basically trying to say, you could blame a lot of things on me, and we might, bitch.
Yeah.
And I'll do it again!
My question is, was he in jail during all this?
Yes.
Already?
He's already incarcerated.
So, my thing would be, he wouldn't be able to do it.
No, when the
Right?
murders were happening, he was out of jail.
He was out of jail? at that
Yes.
point? Okay.
Yes. These timelines end up, kind of coinciding with each other. So by the time they were looking into him, this was a lot later, because this was when DNA had developed more.
Mm-hmm.
So this was in the late 90s, I believe, when they were talking to
Okay.
him. He then goes on to say that, quote, "Some of the evidence seized from my cabin in 1996 may turn out to be important." And that's why he doesn't want anything sold. In my opinion, I think he's bullshitting. I think he doesn't want his items sold, so he's trying to claim, well, if you think I did this, then don't sell my items, because maybe they're important to that.
Oh. Why were they trying to sell his items? Who would
Because
want them?
he's in the prison. That's what they do. It's like when an old person dies and there's no next of king. So they
Next of king?
Estate sale?
I'm gonna go home, guys.
You were home.
I know, that's what the problem is. Everything's fine. We're struggling this episode.
It's
You
been a
can't
while.
talk. My tummy won't shut up.
Danny's just here babysitting at this
I'm
point.
not sniffling, so this is an improvement. At least I don't think I am. And if I am, future Danny, shut the fuck up.
I'm gonna find the one sniffle in the whole episode and amp it up right there, just so loud. So regardless of all of this, the auction went forward as planned, and Krasinski declined to ever give his DNA voluntarily, and they never got it from him. So we don't know if he really was involved or not. James Lewis. This is the prime suspect and who I think fucking did this shit. So on Wednesday, October 6, 1982, 1 week after the 7 Tylenol deaths, Johnson & Johnson received a photograph of a handwritten, unsigned letter. This photograph of the letter had the fingerprints of James Lewis on them.
Oh.
So this letter to Johnson & Johnson reads, quote, "Johnson & Johnson, parent of McNeil Laboratories. Gentlemen, as you can see, it is easy to place cyanide, both potassium and sodium, into capsules, setting on store shelves very easily. And since the cyanide is inside the gelatin, it is easy to get buyers to swallow the bitter pill. Another beauty is that cyanide operates quickly. It takes so very little, and there will be no time to take countermeasures, and if you don't mind the publicity of these little capsules, then do nothing. So far, I've spent less than $50, and it takes me less than 10 minutes per bottle. If you want to stop the killings, then wire $1 million to bank account 8449-597 to Illinois Bank, Chicago, Illinois. Don't attempt to involve the FBI or local Chicago authorities. With this letter, a couple phone calls by me will undo anything you can possibly do." So because they already have his fingerprints on the photograph of this letter, they're automatically looking for him. But they don't find him for 2 more months until December 13th, where he's just spotted in a library, being a nerdy little man looking at books.
Hell yeah. Protect
Oh.
local libraries.
I just love that he's on the run and he said, "Ooh, you know what? I really gotta check out that new mystery novel real quick. Let me stop in here."
He's checking out the How to Crime book.
Imagine! How to Crime. I need 2.0 now. I did 2.1. I've graduated. Here's James Lewis. This is what he looks like.
He looks like a movie director.
His hair looks like the human embodiment of a chicken.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
he kind of looks like he belongs to the Beatles. If his bangs were a little fixed.
A little fixed.
Just fixed in general.
So the bank account number that was listed on this letter did not belong to Lewis. It belonged to another man named Frederick Miller McCahey. So this is a man who Lewis believes had stiffed his wife, Leanne, out of $111, which, remember, first of all, that is still a lot. But during this time, that would have been like $2,000.
Oh.
So maybe he included Miller's bank account number in hopes that it would expose the $511 theft because they would have to look into his account. Now, ultimately, Miller had nothing to do with the murders. It seems like he was just being framed by James Lewis. And James was just being petty. He said, you know what you steal from me? I'm gonna send this letter to the police with your fucking bank account on it, sir. But Lewis had a crazy past. So he allegedly chased his mother around with an axe when he was 19 years old.
God damn.
And in 1966, he was committed to the Missouri State Mental Hospital after attempting to commit suicide by taking 36 different pills.
Oh.
Damn.
He was then diagnosed with schizophrenia, and he later tried to claim that both of these attempts were just to avoid the Vietnam draft.
Oh.
He was also charged and acquitted for the murder of a man named Raymond West. This was a man that had been found dismembered in his own home in the summer of 1978.
Holy shit.
I couldn't find a lot about his murder. I don't know if they ever found out who did it. All I could find was his name being attached to it.
They're probably closed files.
Yeah. So I don't know what happened with that one, but he was acquitted for it. But there was enough evidence that he was tried.
That's crazy.
Yeah. After this, Lewis and his wife launched a short-lived business venture to import pill-making machines made in India in 1981.
Oh.
God.
Imagine being looked at for the cyanide-Tylenol pill murders, and less than 5 years later, you're like, hey, honey, why don't we go into the pill-making business?
Man was a drug dealer.
Oh, I look at that haircut. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, 1000%. He took most of them, but he
Yeah.
So Lewis was suspected for falsifying false credit card applications and using fake addresses in mailboxes. So while searching Lewis's home on December 4th of 1981, the police find plenty of evidence to arrest him for different crimes.
Oh.
Lewis and his wife had fled to Chicago to live under assumed names for almost a year, bringing us to the timeline of the Tylenol murders. So he was doing all this credit card fraudulent shit, fled to Chicago, and then they found him for the Tylenol shit, looked into his past, and they were like, oh fuck, you're a wanted man!
Yeah.
Oh.
See, that's like one of my number one fears is like, I don't do crime, right?
Yeah.
Other than like speeding.
We just report it, guys.
Yeah, exactly. I get scared that I'm gonna get pulled over for something, and then they're gonna find so much shit on me that I didn't do. And
Fair.
I'm gonna be like, I'm going to jail. I'm going to jail. But in this case, this man really did it. Also, he's staring at me.
Yeah, he's scary.
He's
staring at me.
Staring at me right now.
Here, we'll just go back to
Thank
that
you.
one.
I appreciate it.
So he bought Amtrak tickets from Chicago to New York City on September 4th of 1982. This is 25 days before the Tylenol deaths began. 25 days would have been too long for the cyanide to sit inside of the bottles. All that we know on record is this was the only time he would have gone to Chicago to be able to deliver these pills. But it would have been possible for him to fly from New York to Chicago and back on the same day just to deliver them, if he really wanted to.
Yeah.
Now, one or two of the drugstores did have very grainy 1980s camera footage, where you can see a man who, quote, looks a lot like Lewis, but there's no positive ID because of how grainy it is. And nobody could confirm and place Lewis in Chicago shortly before the deaths. All we know, he was not there at all. So authorities never had enough to prosecute him, let alone convict him of the murders. But the writings of the letter did lead to him being convicted of extortion, where he was sentenced to 20 years in prison, but served a little less than 13. While in prison, Lewis bizarrely offered his help and explained and drew out in detail how someone could have gone about injecting the capsules with lethal amounts of cyanide.
So he's pretty much explaining, he's giving a tutorial
Yeah.
on how somebody could have done this, but it wasn't him though.
That's crazy.
Oh my god, you're not helping your case, buddy. I'm sorry, I just see this photo of him walking around and he's wearing
crazy.
an I Heart My Awesome Wife shirt.
So in 2010, James Lewis published a book titled Poison, The Doctor's Dilemma.
Because of course he did.
Lewis would say that the book had nothing to do with the Tylenol murders. He also stated that he had regrets about sending police the ransom letter that sent him to jail. Now, this book is about death by water poisoned with lead in southern Missouri.
Oh.
And he went on public access television in January of 2010 to promote the book. Rather than promoting the book, he ended up giving a 48-minute interview in which many of the questions were directed at his role in the Tylenol murders. He refused and referred every question to his lawyer and ended the interview.
Yeah.
You know, I really don't blame him.
No, not at all. So, as we already discussed, the FDA and Johnson & Johnson came together and created the tamper-proof seal that you see on all medications today.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And other than that, this case is still open. It has never been solved. They have no leads towards it. They have no fucking clue.
In my head, I'm like, yeah, no, it's definitely Lewis. But the first guy, I forgot his name, but he had so many connections towards people. But I think that might have just been a coincidence from being from, like, a small town-ish.
Yeah. You talking about Roger?
Yeah, yeah.
I think...
Because he's also a dock worker as well.
Yeah. I think it honestly, it could have been anyone. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a small town. There was a lot going on. It's crazy to do this to begin with, let alone the fact that it was never solved. I don't know.
I do think it's Lewis. I just think it's suspicious that Arnold had so many ties.
Yeah.
And evidence, but I'm not sure evidence for this
Well,
case.
Yeah, it's like a lot of his is circumstantial. Whereas Lewis is more like directly in it, but he kind of put himself in it.
Yeah.
Which, if you are guilty, why would you put yourself in it?
Maybe he was one of the copycat people.
That's true. That's true.
True.
He could have been that. What if he was a copycat and then Roger was the main one?
Oh.
Also, they could have been friends for all we know. I mean, they're in the same town.
Yeah.
You're so right.
Plus, like, since Roger is, like, a dock worker, I'm sure he knows, like, everyone. Because he has to, like, probably import all their stuff. Huh. This feels like a warning to stop taking Tylenol.
No, it's not.
Ooh.
You're fine. Or are you?
I did buy, I forgot, I was about to say chamomile, that's not right. What's the stuff you put on shit that's itchy? Calamine. I bought some calamine the other day.
Oh.
And the seal was off. I immediately threw it out.
Yeah, no.
I was like, I couldn't do that.
Nope.
I didn't know that it originated from this case, though.
Yep, it did.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew that we had them for a good reason.
Yeah.
I didn't know this was the reason.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I feel like I watched an episode of a show where they took, like, a liquid medicine, like cough syrup or something, and they took a needle and they injected it through the safety seal. And that's why we have, like, 2.
Well, they do it with a lot of food and stuff nowadays, too. Like, my coffee. I opened up some coffee this morning and it had a little safety seal on it. It
Yeah.
said, do not use if been opened.
Yeah.
I think for a lot of food items, it's because it could, like, go bad.
Well, not even just that, but, like, the amount of gross people in the world that could just open a bottle and drink a sip and then walk away.
Yeah.
That's why we have breakable seals on things, so that you know it
Yeah.
isn't open. Because, people just suck. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do.
True that.
And we had to have people like the fucking Tylenol murder to make things even worse.
Yep.
Well, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. I know this was a little bit of a shorter episode, but, you know, we gotta throw some short ones every now and again outside of our 2-hour ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But let us know if you have ever heard of this, if you are now terrified to take Tylenol or medication of any type. So sorry for fueling your nightmares. I know I'm terrified.
Yeah, no.
Every time I take Tylenol now, I'm gonna be like, what if this is the one?
What if I'm gonna die? I'm gonna text someone every time I take Tylenol and be like, I love you guys.
I don't.
Just in case.
Just in case.
I don't take Tylenol. If I ever have to take medicine, it's the Advil liquid gels.
What about, like, your allergy meds?
Those are also liquid gels.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They could put acid in them.
I'd be fine with it. I'd be like, okay.
I'd be fine with it.
I'd know something's off.
Anyway.
I'm a sniffer. I got a good snoot. I feel like a bloodhound. I can smell when anything's off.
Well, thank you so much for listening to this episode. If you have any requests for things for us to cover, make sure you send them our way so I can ignore them, apparently. I feel like every other week I cover something that's been asked for, and then every other week I'm like, I'm selfish. I want to cover this, guys. Make sure you check in next week, though, because we have a very highly requested serial killer case.
Ooh.
And also, if you're watching this on YouTube, thank you so much. Let us know what you think of the slideshow. If you're not watching this on YouTube and you're on Spotify, go fucking look at the slideshow, guys.
Also, if you're not on Spotify, because I'm not on Spotify, I'm too poor for that. I use Apple Music or Apple Podcasts because my mom pays for it.
Fair.
So I'm just a leech. But leave a review.
Oh yeah, leave us some 5 stars, guys. It helps us a lot, I promise. If you leave us some actual words and you say things, we do cry about it.
Yes. It's so sweet and I love it. I look at them every week.
Same. Whenever we get a single one, we send a screenshot of it back and forth to each other. We're like, guys, look at it. Also, I haven't said this in a while. If you live in the Athens area, make sure to keep your eyes peeled if you're ever in the downtown area. We leave our business cards, like, everywhere, and sometimes some buttons. So if you ever see a neon yellow, annoying-ass, bright, fucking bitch bimbo pink business card, it's us, motherfucker!
Yep. Or if you see buttons with waffles, that also could be us.
Or pancakes.
Yeah.
You
we
never
have
know.
waffle pancakes
You never
and
know.
logo.
Yeah.
I will say we went to a show the other day, and we were talking to the merch booth person, and they said that they got one of our business cards out of the bathroom already.
I love it! Oh, I be leaving them in the bathrooms a lot,
yeah,
guys.
exactly.
It's for girls only.
Yeah.
But I mean, whenever I see a cool business card somewhere, I'm like, ooh, give me that.
Yeah, I just want it because the design's cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
Like-
I'm sorry, our business cards are cute as fuck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry, not sorry. If you don't know what they look like, DM us. I'll send you one. I don't
Yeah,
care.
exactly.
I won't send a bomb in the mail. I'll send you a business card.
Yeah, just a business card. I might give you like a pixie stick or something.
Yeah.
Do it.
That's the cyanide.
make it easier for you.
Whenever I send things in the mail, like, because you could stick so much in a little letter and then send it, and it works.
That is how the
At
mail works.
least
No,
figuring
but
out
like,
the postal service right now.
no. But it's not like you have to put it in a box.
You just have to add
The
more
bubble
stamps.
envelope. Yeah, you just add stamps. Yeah, you add stamps and you send it out, and like, it just works. Like, I can send stickers, candy, teas. I have.
I bet you have, girl.
I told my friend, because I borrowed his socks a long time ago, that I was going to send them to him in the mail. I lost those socks, so I never sent them to him in the mail. But I thought about it.
I just love the way your brain works.
I do too.
What do you mean?
It's-
What do you mean?
What do I mean?
What?
Figuring out how the post office works right now.
No, I know how it works. What?
She just loves letters, guys.
I do.
Yeah.
And not returning socks.
Yeah.
Hey, I was going to. I couldn't find a box. I couldn't find
You
a
still
box
have
for them. Somewhere.
Nice.
I don't know.
What a way to end the episode, guys.
Yeah.
The post office.
The post office! Also, I hope you've been enjoying the new theme song.
Yeah.
It better be
We
fucking
have a new
good.
theme song.
Audie from the future, you better have made it great. And if you didn't, just don't listen to it. I think I've said everything. Anyway, I'm Audie.
I'm Daddy.
I'm Elise.
And this has been Breakfast with Bimbos! But Jar
Jar Jar Binks.
You're gonna hear my tummy this entire episode.
Okay, great. She's just a little rumbly, guys.
It's so rumbly.
She wanted to be heard. It was that fucking footlong cookie, bitch. The FCI. No, that's not. Who's the FCI?
You're having a day.
I can't. Guys, I've slept so little.
I know.
After this, Lewis and his husband. He's not gay. Sorry.
I was like, is it legal?
Oh.
He was released in 1995 and lived with his life. Oh my god, I want to fucking kill myself.
At least it's not husband.
That we know of.